Leslie Nelson High. You're smoking some of the best dope God ever put around here.
JustinFREAKIN is a formidable voice in the culture.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
You shut your ass up, Lester.
You live in sexual anarchy.
This is the Troll Patrol, live with JustinFREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol Live. It's a freaking Thursday. My Twitch is like a minute or so behind. No one has said anything. Is everything working right? I'm on the new internet again. Everything looks okay on my end. Somebody say something. Welcome. We've got bullshit to talk about. multiple what the fuck is going on in Fort Worth stories today. We haven't done one in a while. Suspect stole an ambulance in Fort Worth. A cement truck slammed into a building. Actually, this was in Dallas, not Fort Worth, but same metro area. Former LAPD detective faces new charges in a decades-old sexual assault case. Tennessee put a inmate to death today. This following, about 2 months ago, the botched execution that caused Governor Bill Lee to delay that death row inmates. I got a stolen Tesla. We got Caroline Leavitt going to be leaving the White House. Wild video of a scaffolding collapse at a Maryland high-rise. Insane story out of Minnesota. Man killing his 7-year-old daughter and his wife at a daycare. There was an armed suspect inside a Westminster public defender building outside of L.A. ICE going to be equipping agents with electrical shock gloves. I've also got a video of an ICE agent pulling a gun on a Virginia woman for simply yelling at him, which is her constitutional right. I'm sure these are the kind of people that we want to have shock gloves, right? Got an update on the wild story that we talked about the other day. The daring escape that Trump made from Turkey turned out to not be so daring as Secret Service and U.S. intelligence deemed the Israeli intelligence to be not credible. So we all kind of thought that Trump left people on the old Air Force One to be a decoy. But turns out there was no threat and he was just a fucking coward. Warlord brings up Britain. The vote is being counted. Is Nigel Farage going to be able to hang on, or is Count Benface going to be heading to Parliament? All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live Flash. I love it. Water balloons just became 200% effective against ice in the winter. Love it. I'm also apparently going to be getting into debate with a guy that I met up with in a group called Liberal Tears, which is funny because I'm in that group 3 different times. I'm in it as myself, I'm in it as JustinFREAKIN, and I'm also in it as my right-wing satire page. I get interaction from all 3. I've got some demonstration video of the gloves that we could watch. Sorry, I have been really busy today. So I was not prepared. So we're going to be freeballing the news. Let's first start with, we've got an AP reporter detailing the escape from Turkey that wasn't so much of a dramatic escape. It was just Trump being a big fucking baby. Working gal, welcome in. Flash, Warlord. Light one up, tip one back for me. I'll be able to partake with you guys here in an hour or so. Curiouser will be bringing us some from the weed store. I think I've sucked my pen dry. Yeah, it says 137 puffs. That's about how long they last. It looks like it's still got some in it. Come on, give me a high. Oh, it's smoking. I guess not smoking, it's vaping. Vaporize it. Yeah, she's bringing me a new pen and some flour here in a little bit, so we'll get high. Let's start off with Trump and the daring escape from Ankara.
I was accompanying President Donald Trump on Air Force One when he was flying from Turkey to England. And as we approached the aircraft on the tarmac in the motorcade, I looked up, and for the first time I saw catering vehicles up against Air Force One. I had never seen that before in all my 20 years of working for the AP and more years beyond that covering presidents. I photographed that as much as I possibly could because I thought that was so unusual. Now reporting tells us that those carrying vehicles allowed the president to walk on Air Force One and then walk off the plane into the catering vehicles and be taken to a second plane using the aircraft we were on as a decoy aircraft.
But it turns out there wasn't even a threat. Washington Post reporting yesterday that the CIA had low confidence in the supposed threat from Iran. Gender fluid. Me and you. I mean, I guess there's always kind of a threat against him. CIA had low confidence in Iranian threat before Trump switched planes. The intelligence apparently came from Israel, so I wonder. U.S. intelligence officials were skeptical of an Iranian assassination threat against President Donald Trump that was relayed by Israel and prompted an extraordinary clandestine maneuver that saw him secretly fly out of Turkey in an alternate military aircraft, current and former U.S. officials familiar with the intelligence said. The assassination threat was relayed by the Israeli government to the CIA, where analysts did not view the intelligence as compelling and conveyed that skepticism to Trump administration officials. I was gonna say Marco, that was the highest level official that remained on the plane known as Old Air Force One. Whatever plane Trump is on is actually Air Force One, so technically the cargo plane was Air Force One that day. But the decoy plane that was giving off the call signal as Air Force One, Marco Rubio remained on. He had this assessment that there's really no threat. Because before this reporting, I was like, well, it kind of makes Marco look like a badass. Turns out, no, he just knew that the threat wasn't real, and then Trump is just a coward. Another official called the reports of threats against Trump's life Israeli-derived, not U.S.-generated, and viewed as low confidence. The doubts in some quarters about the imminent threat to the president add a new element to the White House's decision last month, first reported by the Washington Post, to shield Trump's whereabouts as he departed a NATO summit in Ankara, Turkey. I doubt it, Flash. I doubt it was like an actual military transport. Like if they were flying you into a war zone. You're on those smelly ass fucking transports. A House candidate in New Hampshire had a conversation with a voter on camera and the results are hilarious. This is Republican House candidate Holly Novoletsky. Holly Novoletsky is trying to win over a voter in New Hampshire on camera. This was C-SPAN covering it.
What's most concerning to you about the upcoming election?
I would say putting a check on the executive branch is extremely important to me. Big check on it. My only thing at the moment.
That's the only thing.
It's the only thing I care about at the moment. Putting a big on check on massive amounts of corruption that are happening.
So I am running on the Republican.
So you're probably not going to get my vote in this area. So. Are you for him?
I do support his
So
policies.
what could you tell me that could ever get me to fathom why you would support that? That's my question.
So I think that we have destabilized the world with our weakness on the world stage.
We have, or he has, with his.
Under the prior administration. And this administration really is focused on the American worker, bringing back
You are
manufacturing.
out of your
It's hard to hear what they're saying. I wish I'd known how bad this was, because I could have cleaned it up a little bit. But he just said you're out of your mind.
Under the prior administration. And this administration really is focused on the American worker, bringing back manufacturing.
out of your We're so sorry, but you were out of your mind if that's what you think. I can't even talk to you that straight.
Did he say you're out of your motherfucking mind?
We have, or he has, with his.
Under the prior administration. And this administration really is focused on the American worker, bringing back manufacturing.
out of your We're so sorry, but you were out of your mind if that's what you think. I can't even talk to you that straight face if that's how you think this sounds straight. Good luck to you.
At least we can have that.
Absolutely.
That's the
I can, and
we need to be able to have that.
And most of the country can't, absolutely. But you saying that we can have this conversation while simultaneously supporting a man that would call me a loser and a scum because I don't support him is ridiculous. So I can't take you seriously.
But we can have a policy. I'm going to let you have your breakfast.
Yeah, thank you. I'm getting a little heated right
He said she's out of her mind. He can't take her seriously. Can't look at her with a straight face. I love Sarah Silverman looking at her. Judgmental here in the background. Did he say fascist? I can't make out what he's saying. Are there subtitles here? Okay, there are subtitles. Let me try to translate.
What's most running on the Republican?
So I'm running on the Republican. She's probably not going to get my vote. She's probably not going. Are you for him?
Policies.
I do support his policy. What could you tell me that could ever get me to fathom why you would support that man? That's why I can't shake your hand, because you are. So I think that we have destabilized the world, she said. We have weakness on the world stage. We have, or he has?
Under the prior administration.
We have, okay.
And this administration really is focused on the American worker, bringing back manufacturing.
out of your
Yeah, it didn't say it.
You were out of your mind if that's what you think. I can't even talk to you that straight face if that's how you think.
I can't even talk to you with a straight face. If that's how you think.
At least we can have that.
Absolutely.
That's the
I can, and
we need to be able to have that.
And most of the country can't, absolutely. But you saying that we can have this conversation while simultaneously supporting a
Are
man.
you saying that we can have this conversation while simultaneously supporting a man that would call me names and call me stupid because I don't support him? It's ridiculous.
Take you serious.
So I can't take you seriously.
But we can have a policy. I'm going to let you have your
Yeah,
breakfast.
thank you. I'm getting a little heated right now. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fuck you, Bagheera. According to Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, they aren't jumping off of boats over in the Strait of Hormuz. But we have multiple reports now that soldiers aren't being fed. Soldiers have very low morale as they're working like 16-hour days non-stop in a pointless war.
Senator Richard Blumenthal, now among Democrats, raising concerns about the well-being of our sailors aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln. That lawmaker sending a letter to Defense Secretary Hegseth and the Navy's acting secretary requesting that they answer questions on whether the Navy is able to properly care for service members. It comes amid reports that the sailors are exhausted and being pushed to the brink. The Military Times also reporting at least one family is alleging a sailor attempted to go overboard on the Abe Lincoln. Responding to those reports, the Navy says we have not identified an increase in reported suicidal ideation or suicide attempts aboard the ship. Let's bring in our senior Pentagon reporter, Louis Martinez, for more. It's interesting just the verbiage in that quote.
Hey, Bagheera, you would have been one of the first people to know that the press secretary was stepping down if you followed me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all the places where I broke that news yesterday.
We have not identified.
I broke it. I didn't get it from the AP or anything.
Ideation or suicide attempts aboard the ship. They didn't completely.
It's my story. She's my GOP mommy, so.
It's interesting the words that they choose to use. So let's talk about the.
Again, she wasn't used as bait. There was no threat.
You know, from the Navy at this point. What the sailors are saying, what the Military Times is reporting, and how this is really pushing this story forward.
Well, Kara, we should point out that this suicidal ideation is something that actually happens across the entire military force, not just aboard ships at sea. When we talked to a U.S. official, they pointed that it is not uncommon for sailors to be aboard a ship that, yes, there will be some reports of suicidal ideation, either comments that they've made or comments that are overheard by others, or that they self-report, or maybe even attempts at suicidal ideation. But typically what happens is that we see these reports happen towards the start of a deployment. And what we are hearing from a U.S. official is that over the last 9 months, the numbers actually have gone down, and that it is they don't corroborate what has been implied in some reports, that the longer that this deployment has taken place, that there's been an increase with regards to suicidal ideation. I spoke with another official who did confirm that, yes, there was one sailor who was reported overboard last month and was quickly recovered at sea, but that incident is under investigation right now to determine intent. We also have learned from that official that re-enlistment, which would be an indicator of morale aboard the ship, is up in recent months, which would kind of be at odds with the notion that the longer that the ship is at sea, that morale is going to be impacted. But I guess we should point out again, this ship was diverted to the Middle East. It did not make a port of call in between for more than 210 days. That is a long length of time. And so, yes, there's going to be concerns when you're dealing day in and day out with the same kind of operations. I know you've seen it firsthand being aboard an aircraft carrier. That can be really intense in a time of war.
Yeah, no, and that's a really good point. And I think that a lot has changed. I was on the Abraham Lincoln during Operation Iraqi Freedom. And, you know, over 20 years, there have been a lot of changes with regard to mental health. We've reported on everything from PTS to suicide to all the challenges the military deals with. And we know now that there are people on these ships, mental health folks and resources and even chaplains. And so
oh, great, chaplains.
It's, I guess, moving forward, and we are going to have, by the way, the editor-in-chief of the Military Times on in the next hour. Do you think, through your sources, and also, you know, you cover the Pentagon, you've been doing this a very long time, do you think this story will help sailors and even other service members when it comes to mental health? Do you think this story is finally broken? Will it do something? Do you get a sense that now members of the military will be proactive in trying?
Well, it's at least done one thing. They are replacing the ship.
A tough time when you're out at sea for long periods of time, not knowing when you're going
We'll get to that.
home.
Especially when it's unexpected, right, Kara? And you're right. Over the last 20 years, what we've seen is an incredible focus by the U.S. military in trying to enhance and improve access to military care, because the realization came, unfortunately, at some cost, that a healthy, mentally healthy soldier, service member, is going to be very productive for the force as a whole, and that you're going to have to deal with these tough issues when they pop up. And so, yes, what we have seen is growing access over to especially aboard ships, to some of the mental health professionals, or as you said, even to chaplains that can be there to provide mental or moral support for somebody who's experiencing difficulties. One of the things that we've always heard is that the more that people talk about it, the easier it is. You want to break down the stigma of accessing mental health care, the stigma of recognizing that you may have some issues that are impacting you professionally as well as personally. And so, yes, as we see stories like this come out, I think one of the things that you see when you talk to military professionals who deal with mental health is that awareness raises awareness about bringing down stigmas and any potential seeking access to any kind of care.
Yeah, there's a lot of young kids on those ships, and they don't realize what they're necessarily coming into, and that the resources just have to be there for everyone, all men, all women, all ages, because there's a lot of pressure on our military as they serve our country in these times. Louis, thank you so much.
As they serve Israel's interests in the Middle East. Welcome in, Dankness, Libertad, Ich Bin Dead, T-Minus. Good evening, friends. MSN now posting an interview with the wife of one of the sailors who jumped overboard on the Lincoln.
Since the USS Lincoln deployed to sea, what started as a routine mission in November was redirected to the Middle East over the war with Iran earlier this year. Now, families of those on board are confronting Navy leaders about food shortages, water contamination, and declining mental health. Declining health, by the way, that has gotten so bad that there are multiple reports of sailors trying to jump overboard. In an exclusive interview with MS Now, the wife of a sailor who did jump off the ship earlier this month says her husband told leadership that he was struggling, but that was brushed off. She also says the Navy did not tell her until 4 days after the incident. A Navy spokesperson told MS Now in part, quote, "We have not observed an increase in suicidal ideations aboard the ship." Joining us, MS Now Pentagon reporter Priya Sridhar, former Naval Lieutenant Commander Julie Rowland, who has served aboard the Lincoln, and Max Rose, who is back with us as well. Priya, explain what this was.
Oh, so they don't actually have an interview with her. They're just quoting her.
It's just a really
fuck off.
heartbreaking.
God damn you, MS Now. I don't give a shit about any of your talking heads. I wanted to hear from the wife. Miss Now. I mean, I understand the name change because, like, it used to be a joint venture between Microsoft and NBC, and I don't believe Microsoft owns any part of it anymore. But I don't know exactly how things got rearranged whenever the sale went through NBC to Comcast and somebody else fucking bought it. It's weird. I think they sold off MSNBC. I don't think Comcast owns any. There's been a lot of media consolidation. But another ship is reportedly taking the USS Abraham Lincoln's place in the Middle East after this report came out. The military is reportedly preparing to send the aircraft carrier USS George Washington to the Arabian Sea to replace the Abraham Lincoln, taking a mental and physical toll on soldiers and Marines, though Pete Hegseth denies it. I'm gonna stop using Forbes. Never have a goddamn reporter. Probably had AI write that bullshit. You should totally follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, Bluesky, Rumble, BitChute. Anywhere you get your reels, your TikToks, your shorts, whatever, I'm there. I post them to Truth Social. I tag Trump and call him a pedophile. Follow me everywhere. Also, help me, I'm about ready to break 10K on Facebook. So help me if you're not already following me on Facebook. Silent, welcome in. Yesterday, I posted the Caroline Leavitt story. Within minutes, I produced a freaking news about it. Who might be in line to replace Leavitt when she leaves at the end of the month?
Big reaction to White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stepping down to focus more on raising her 2 young children. Now the big question is, who will fill her shoes?
Speculation is rampant today over who will replace Caroline Leavitt.
Who do you think should replace her?
TV pundits are wasting.
Me. I'll do it. I mean, I'm probably going to be better at it than anybody Trump would pick.
No time playing the guessing game.
She's going to be a very, very tough act to follow.
The names put forward include Stephen Chung, the White House Director of Communications, who Trump calls Luca Brasi, the hitman from The Godfather. Katie Miller's name has also come up. Her husband, Stephen Miller, is a top Trump aide, and she hosts a popular podcast.
The president has been clear-eyed all along the way.
Deputy Press Secretary Anna Kelly is seen as a frontrunner, as is Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, who hosts her own weekend show on Fox.
Laura Trump, that's probably it.
Attorney Alina Habba is on the list, and so is Scott Jennings, the conservative pundit who defends Trump nightly on CNN.
No, Trump is better served with Jennings on CNN. That would be a bad move to put Jennings in that spot. Katie Miller probably would be the best.
Press Secretary Anna Kelly is seen as a frontrunner, as is Trump's daughter-in-law, Laura Trump, who hosts her own weekend show on Fox. Trump favorite, attorney Alina Habba, is on the list, and so is Scott Jennings, the conservative pundit who defends Trump nightly on CNN.
Will you serve, Scott? Answer the question.
No, look.
Answer the question.
I don't know.
See, I'm not a good liar. It would be hard for me to go out and lie. I'll take the job, though. Trumpy boy, I will be your press secretary if you want me to. I'm sure that would work out well for you. I mean, I've got more broadcasting experience than virtually everybody they named just now. I don't know that anything like that matters anymore. Who cares if he's registered as a foreign agent? Trump doesn't. I need bigger tits. Which is, I was in some right-wing group and somebody shared out a picture of Caroline Leavitt. I'm like, that cannot be a real picture because she is not that stacked. They had huge titties. I'm like, believe me, I would know if her titties were that big. I would have been talking about slapping them for some time now.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
Am I willing to go bald or blonde? I mean, I've gone bald for Trump once before. I mean, she is nursing, but no, these had to be AI titties. That was my first thought, was like, she's really engorged right now. And I'm like, no, wait a minute, this can't be real. Silent, welcome in. Me and you knows the picture I'm talking about. Anonymous lead, I tell you good evening. We're going to go to Virginia, where, by the way, do you guys remember Jake Jacobs? He hosts a show. I've done a few segments on him. It was like 2022 when I had the run-in with him. I asked him to bring me on. Like, he was launching like some right-wing, network in Wisconsin or something, and I asked him to bring me on because I've been very friendly with him. He wrote a book called Democracy is Mob Rule or some shit like that. I've been going back and forth with him because he's an old boomer. He's a doctorate from like some Bible college somewhere in Ohio. He showed me what his college was and bragged about how long he'd been there. I was like, just because it's been there a long time doesn't mean it's not handing out fake degrees. Like, what's your degree in anyway? Divinity? Might as well be in like wizardry or something in Harry Potter. Go get a degree in voodoo. Oh shit. Smash. Welcome in, darling. I feel like I've seen you showing me some love on Instagram or TikTok or one of them. And I appreciate the hell out of it. I am seeing a deluge of comments and interactions with my content, which is good. So I lose track of who I see. It's amazing I actually saw you in all the comments. I was like, oh, there's Smash. But good to see you. We're going to go to Virginia, where a woman who was a citizen had a gun pulled on her. She was apparently yelling at ICE agents. And they decided to come over and get in her face.
Yeah, you recorded us. You almost ran us over.
I didn't almost
ran us over. So stop playing. Stop playing.
You are full
right?
With a gun drawn, an ICE agent and a Northern Virginia woman argue through her driver's side window Monday afternoon in a Falls Church parking lot.
I will arrest you. Keep it up.
I'm a legal citizen.
I don't care.
Oh my goodness.
With her car boxed in by ICE vehicles, other agents approach her car.
I want to try to run me over.
Run you over when? I got recording. I got dash cam.
She's sharing that dash cam video with News 4. The video starts about 35 seconds before the initial confrontation. The driver is Carolina Molina, a U.S. citizen who says she just witnessed these ICE agents arrest two men on the other side of the parking lot. She says she's angry with ICE, but she wasn't following them. She says she was in the parking lot for work, dropping business cards with immigration lawyers to offer counseling services. She says when she turned around and passed the ICE agents again, she shouted at them from her window.
You're
The video shows her turning right as one of the agents stops and then returns to his vehicle. Moments later, she turns around, and this time, two SUVs approach, one in front and one from the rear.
Are you really?
Are you following this?
No, I'm not.
Are you following?
Tonight, Molina is sharing her story with News 4.
Honestly, I'm scared. I feel more fear now because this situation, I feel like it was uncalled for.
News 4 reached out to ICE for comment, and DHS responded to our request by asking for Molina's video. We directed them to what she's already posted online, and a spokesperson responded, telling News 4 in part, quote, an anti-ICE agitator began to drive her car in circles around our ICE officers and then attempted to harm officers by weaponizing her vehicle against them. All in an...
That is a lie. They have lied every single time. We'll point you to Melanie Martinez in Chicago. ICE said she tried to box them in and ram them with her car. They shot at her. She survived. She got shot by ICE. She had to go to the hospital. They pressed charges against her. Those charges got dropped because the footage showed ICE rammed her. So once again, they're just lying. They're blatantly violating the Constitution. They're lying about U.S. citizens. And this should alarm every single person.
Harm officers by weaponizing her vehicle against them, all in an attempt to help illegal aliens get away. The video Molina shared with News 4 does not corroborate DHS's claim, but News 4 is not able to verify what happened prior to the start of the video, and DHS has not provided News 4 with any other evidence in support of its statement. Still, we asked Molina why she made the comments to the agent in the first place.
Regardless, even if I said something, I feel like that is my First Amendment right as an American citizen, and I don't think it calls for this type of excessive force.
The video shows the ICE agent who drew his weapon had his gun in his hand as soon as he stepped out of his vehicle.
Once I picked up my phone and started recording him, that's when the story switched and he started saying, oh, it seems like she's the one that almost ran you over. She's the one that almost ran us over.
The entire interaction depicted in this video, from the time the agent steps out of the car until he gets back into the car to leave, lasts about 50 seconds.
I'm leaving car.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay up.
Hey, Tom Llama, you shut the fuck up.
News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.
Ain't nobody asked you a goddamn thing. But yeah, those are the kind of agents that you absolutely want to give this new technology called shock gloves. You want to give them shock gloves.
Today, the Department of Homeland Security is eyeing a new purchase for its ICE agents, electric shock gloves. Civil rights advocates are now questioning the plan.
ABC's Olivia Rubin has more on the incapacitating gloves, which could cost tens of millions.
Oh God, Flash, I didn't even think about that. We're probably going to see a rash of agents harm themselves with these stupid gloves. These are not the smartest people. It would not surprise me if more agents get harmed by the gloves than any civilian. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. You are absolutely right.
ABC's Olivia Rubin has more on the incapacitating gloves, which could cost tens of millions of dollars.
This is the new piece of equipment that ICE agents could soon be armed with.
Did she say billions with a B?
Made by Compliant Technologies, touted and featured on their website. The Department of Homeland Security looking to...
She said billions with a B, didn't she?
Which could cost tens of millions of dollars.
Billions. No fucking way.
Tens of millions of dollars.
This...
of dollars. Which could cost tens of millions of dollars.
This is the new piece of equipment that ICE agents could soon be armed with, electric shock gloves, made by Compliant Technologies, touted and featured on their website. The Department of Homeland Security looking to spend as much as $20 million.
Okay, 20 million, okay. Shoo. I was like, billions, tens of billions. Still, 20 million is insane. Yeah, and which one of Trump's donors owns Compliant Technologies?
The device is called GLOVE, which stands for Generated Low Output Voltage Emitter, the company who makes them demonstrating their power on social media. The company says officers must press a switch to activate the gloves. According to the company, the gloves must directly touch a person's skin for the shock to work. In a statement to ABC News, the ACLU slamming the move, saying giving ICE agents, quote, a concealed means of delivering terrible pain is a recipe for more harm to the public and less accountability. The Trump administration has faced criticism over the increasing force used in deportation efforts, resulting in at least 4 deaths, including in Minnesota with Renee Good and Alex Preddy, 2 American citizens, and 2 back-to-back fatal shootings last month in Texas and Maine, sparking outcry, prompting the administration to announce they'll equip every ICE agent in the field with body-worn cameras by the end of the month. In a statement, DHS saying in part that they are, quote, constantly assessing the needs of our officers in the field to ensure they have the tools and equipment necessary. In Washington, Olivia Rubin, ABC News.
Freakin, welcome in. Lenny, leftist. I love Media Winch, you gorgeous woman. Ducky. Good to see all of you. I had a demonstration they did with those gloves, but I am Twitter's not showing me my saved... oh, there it is. I guess it's under history now? Huh. They've changed the name of it, I guess. Oh, I thought I had it. Sorry I wasn't on last night, by the way. My apologies for not giving you your news. A lot of shit going on. I've been busy as fuck today. So here is the demonstration from the company that makes these stupid ass gloves.
Oh!
Compliant Technologies.
Myself. Go back with the gloves.
Wait a minute, is that M&M? It's generic M&M. Am I gonna get copyright for that? You had one shot, one opportunity.
We're trying to get his hands out. Stop resisting. Resist. Put your hands out. Oh, thank you. Damn, he turned around. Oh! I scream like a little girl and pee myself. Go back with the gloves.
How long until we see a death from one of these, though? Trying to find out more information about this company because I guarantee Trump's got a stake in them somehow. The small company could make millions selling shock gloves to ICE. The agency hopes to buy $10 to $20 million worth of stun devices from a Kentucky-based company. Are you going to give us the lowdown here?
Now to the latest on our ICE Inc. investigation. Scripps News continues to follow the money. We've learned that many of the companies with contracts have a history of doing work for the government. Some, but not all. The latest Homeland Security plans to equip ICE officers with electric shock gloves. That's the plan, they say. ICE says the gloves will deliver 380 volts and are meant to de-escalate. This time, the company we're talking about is small. Scripps News investigative correspondent Patrick Terpstra leads our ICE Inc. investigation. As always, he follows the money. Patrick, what have you discovered about this particular new company we're talking about?
So this company is called Compliant Technologies. It is a small company, and they make what some people call the Batman glove. Put it on your hand. There's a little button there. When things get dicey, you can press the button, and all of a sudden, it electrifies. Bad news for whoever's on the other end of that. But all of this may be really good news for this company, which could make millions in taxpayer dollars.
Great.
Back with the gloves.
A company is going to make millions while ICE terrorizes citizens. Fucking capitalism, baby.
Compliant Technologies is the maker of the electric shock gloves the federal government may soon purchase for ICE agents. A notice posted by Homeland Security shows an intent to buy $10 to $20 million worth of the distraction and de-escalation devices for ICE. Compliant Technologies is listed in federal contracting records as a veteran-owned business based out of a residential address in Nicholasville, Kentucky. We found while it has been
a residential address? There's nothing sketchy about that.
Been registered as a government contractor since 2023, it has no record of ever receiving a federal contract anywhere near $10 million. Compare that to the company Axon, which has provided millions of dollars worth of taser stun guns to the government over the years. The company's founder declined to talk to us, but has spoken online about the business's track record.
Compliant Technologies sits at over 400 agencies in 40 states and 9 countries with over 40,000 uses. We normally take people down within less than 3 seconds. We've had no injuries or lawsuits to this point.
We also found no record of lawsuits against the company. That could change if ICE agents end up ever getting the gloves to use during the kind of intense confrontations playing out in places like Falls Church, Virginia, where an ICE agent pulled a gun on a driver this week. New York Attorney General Tish James.
In the event that a New Yorker is injured as a result of these gloves, obviously there will be a private right of action as well as action from the state of New York. You can best be assured of that.
For now, public documents show ICE intending to purchase the gloves, but there is no record any have been bought yet. And we really pressed DHS on that. When might officers actually get these gloves? We had a bunch of questions, really, and they responded with a statement saying that they are constantly assessing the needs of ICE agents out in the field and what tools might benefit them. One thing that's interesting, Del, in doing this research, this glove really works with contact with the skin, not so much with clothing. So you have to wonder out in the field if people are using this glove, if it doesn't really work as well through the clothes, unlike, let's say, a taser stun gun that has those prongs. How effective might these be? Unclear at this point.
You have to also wonder if these are so effective, why aren't more law enforcement agencies using them? And do we know when ICE might get these gloves?
Well, for one thing, it is still a pretty new technology, and this company is really the only one that makes these gloves. Of course, a lot of people know officers carry those taser-type stun guns. They're yellow. We've done a ton of stories over the years about issues with those.
Left us over here. Let's make a Faraday cage that'll
one thing that's interesting,
shock the agents back.
Notice of intent to purchase these devices. It is not actually a purchase order, a task order, a federal contract, anything like that. It indicates that should come within days, but we'll have to see. There's been so much pushback, especially, Del, from people on Capitol Hill. Will this actually happen? Did they post this on purpose? Was it, did they speak too soon with this posting? We'll have to see. We should know within days, though, if these actually get purchased and then when they will be deployed.
Patrick, I'm thinking right now that heart disease is the #1 killer in this country. I'm thinking about an electric shock being administered to people. Do we know whether or not the shock that this glove delivers can be fatal?
Well, two things are true here. One, it's a very low voltage shock, and they talk about that all the time. This isn't the type of thing they say that would land you in a hospital, but then you see these videos.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
People that get shocked, and they go down like that within seconds, and they even boast, they say within 3 seconds, you will go down. And as you were mentioning earlier, you think about a motorist or somebody that is approached by ICE. They've got a foot perhaps on the gas pedal. There's a lot of questions about this.
Our investigative correspondent, Patrick Terpstra, as always, he follows the money. Patrick, thank you very much.
I don't know what it says about me that this is where my mind went. But how long before these gloves are used in porn? There's bound to be some sickos out there that would jack off, rub their clits with these motherfuckers, and enjoy it, because there's some sickos. I'm supposed to have a dude come by, have a debate with us. We'll see if he shows up. I told him to say something in the chat. He kept asking me for a Discord link. I'm like, I don't know it off the top of my head, bro. Come by, say something in the chat. Oh, believe me, you see the women with the pink thing sticking out their asses all the time. Sorry. Yes, ICE agents, don't let anyone tell you what you can or cannot masturbate with. We have some updates in the case of our boy, Luigi Mangione. Apparently is in discussion with federal prosecutors for some sort of a plea deal. The plea deal would likely allow him to avoid the death penalty, get out of the state case, Okay, Flash, I am very much rooting for a jury nullification. I want to see the state. Me personally, I want to see the trial. The state trial will be broadcast, hopefully. But from a legal perspective, if I was his lawyer and we had a chance to negotiate for something that might end up with him getting out of prison, that's the course of action to take. That's the smart move. Because it's a huge gamble to try to go for jury nullification, and he's got two different trials. If cutting a plea deal with the feds gets him out of the state trial, gets him out of the death penalty, and apparently it's going to allow the judge to decide the sentence, and he may not even get life. Or he may. It's a gamble.
And his legal team negotiating a possible plea deal in the alleged killer's high-stakes federal murder case.
How's Luigi doing?
Sources telling ABC News prosecutors and defense attorneys have scheduled a conference in federal court to discuss a potential plea agreement on Friday. Mangione is facing both federal and state charges, accused of murdering United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in December 2020.
Do you see what he's wearing? He was asking for it. Come on, look at that shirt.
Pleading not guilty in both cases. Mangione's defense team likely to use any federal plea agreement to bolster their argument that being charged in both federal and state court amounts to double jeopardy, the idea that a defendant can't be charged twice for the same crime. So far, their efforts have been unsuccessful.
Even if Mangione pleads guilty in federal court,
shut up, Dan Abrams. Nobody gives a shit about you.
Going to give up. They will argue that there are different state laws, different from the federal laws, that ought to allow them to move forward with the case.
The state trial.
See, the thing is with the federal trial, they can't use, what they're wanting to use is like insanity by reason of his health care, being denied health care for his back, the pain that he was in. You can't make that case in federal court. Now, if they take the plea deal, they will be able to plead his case with the judge during the sentencing phase and hopefully still be able to present the evidence that he was in an altered mental state when he shot Thompson.
Is set to begin on September 8th. Just this week, the judge ruling that the jury in that case would be anonymous, a rarity. Shortly after Mangione's arrest, Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg sat down with our Aaron Katersky.
You confident you have the right guy in the shooting of Brian Thompson?
Well, I'll start by saying, obviously, this is a profoundly disturbing, as we've alleged, murder. And yeah, I mean, we would not charge the person if we didn't think it was.
Is it though?
Prepared to go forward.
Now, for now, neither the.
I mean, I may just be a crazy leftist, but a profoundly disturbing murder would be like ICE shooting Alex Preddy in the back. Brian Thompson getting shot, no skin off my nose. And from all indication, from all data, it seems like it's done us some good. United Healthcare apparently approved way more claims post Thompson murder, so I don't know about disturbing.
Defense team nor the prosecution are commenting at the moment, and we don't know exactly how this is going to play out in court there behind me tomorrow, but this is an extraordinary moment in a case that has already garnered international attention.
Yes, and a lot of anticipation. Matt Rivers for us. Thank you.
Lucy, welcome in. Good to see you, friend. I mean, nobody condones murder. Where the fuck is clinically at? He'd pop in and be like, nope, I condone it. Let's talk about Nick Reiner. This was the one. Shocking story we did a few months back with the death of Rob Reiner. Kelly, welcome in. What murder? I didn't see any murder. Nick Reiner being indicted on murder charges in California.
This morning, murder suspect Nick Reiner behind bars with no option for bail, facing new charges in the murders of his mother and father, Michelle and Rob Reiner. The unsealed indictment, charging the 32-year-old with 2 counts of first-degree murder, with the addition of a special circumstance, alleging Nick Reiner used a knife and intentionally killed his parents by means of lying in wait. In a statement, the LA County District Attorney called it a profound betrayal by someone who was loved and trusted by the very people he's accused of killing. Reiner had talked about his son's struggles over the years.
Your main job is to keep your child safe.
The beloved director and his wife, Michelle, were found deceased inside their Brentwood home on December 14th. Authorities say they had been stabbed to death just hours prior. Authorities say Nick joined his parents at a holiday party hosted by Conan O'Brien, where 2 people familiar with the situation told NBC News Nick became disruptive. Police arresting Reiner one day after the bodies of his parents were discovered in their bedroom. Now prosecutors moving forward toward a trial and bypassing a public preliminary hearing.
Generally speaking, if prosecutors have a choice between a preliminary hearing and a grand jury proceeding, they're going to choose the grand jury.
Nearly 8 months after the shocking crime, Rob and Michelle's other children, Jake and Romy Reiner, honoring their parents at Dodger Stadium with a ceremonial first pitch.
Before the game even started, it was an emotional time for me. I thought the Dodgers did a fantastic job with the tribute to my parents.
In April, Jake opened up about the family tragedy in a Substack essay, writing, "I was robbed of so many things that day. My parents won't be at my wedding. They won't get to hold their future grandchild." And regarding his brother's alleged crime, it simultaneously breaks my heart and enrages me.
So, Morgan, what's next as this heads toward trial?
Right. Well, Nick Reiner has pleaded not guilty to these new charges, and his court-appointed attorney is declining to comment. This new indictment adds a special circumstance allegation of lying in wait, which could potentially increase penalties in the sentencing phase of trial. And of course, all of this comes as Reiner is seeking access to his trust fund. That's valued at around $1.5 million. He's filed a petition to try and get some of that money to help pay for his legal defense. In the meantime, Reiner is scheduled to be back in court for a pretrial hearing on September 15th. Savannah.
All right, Morgan, thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today.
Oh, shut up.
NBC or
Al Roker.
Today when you're on the go. Just follow the.
Drew a blank there for a second. I got to do. He literally came out and said, "I'll debate you anytime. Name the place." I'm like, my show is on in like 4 hours. I don't think he knew that I did a political talk show where I take calls and do debates. So, because I wasn't on my JustinFREAKIN page, I was on my personal page. Flo, Shelly, who else came in here on me? Love you guys. Good to see you. He was gonna be on camera. He was gonna hop in the Discord if he comes, if he shows up. He's apparently, he says he's a centrist, but he's in a far right group, of course, that I'm in. His argument, and this is fucking hilarious. They posted a meme of Hitler. It was like, "Why do Democrats call Trump Hitler? I'm one of yours," or something like that. And someone in the comments had posted, "Grok's gone woke," because Grok corrected that Hitler wasn't a socialist. He persecuted the socialists, blah, blah, blah. He was a far-right fascist, yeah. Absolutely, Grok was correct in its assessment. And everybody in that group is like, "Grok is woke, Grok is woke." So this dude decided to dispute me about it. And say, "Oh, I know that's what all the academics say, but they're all left-wing." I'm like, "Sure, pal, sure." So I'm like, this is a Holocaust survivor saying, You know, first they came for the communists, then they came for the socialists. Like, you think you know better than him? And then he tagged me. He tagged me with some dude that he had been having an argument with in that group. And the dude had said something about, like, requires solutions with little mustaches or something. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about? I don't give a fuck about your beefs with somebody else in this group. And the dude's like, I'm a genius. I have 156 IQ. And I'm like, please come on my show. Please. Please. Anyone that's going to tell me they're a genius, I want to call in or Discord in. I've never talked to a genius before. I would love to talk to a genius. I don't think that's true. I think I have spoken to several geniuses. I would say my psychology professor in college was probably a genius. I would say my economics professor the first time I was in college was probably a genius. I'll never forget. That was like one of the very first classes I ever took in college. Economics. First day, sit down. This is when I was 18. Because I went back to college. I actually got my degree into my 20s. Early 30s, whatever it was. I went back when I was like 27, 28. I sit down, and the very first day, very first thing he comes in, writes on the boards, like, if you wanted to, this is economics, right? Let me try to remember how he put it. If you wanted to discourage drug usage, if you wanted to curb drug deaths, if you wanted, like, went down all these different points that he made, then you want to legalize all drugs. Very first thing he fucking said. I'm like, yes. Yes. At that point, I was like, fucking economists are amazing, aren't they? Turns out I just happened to have one of the good ones. That's very true, Flo. Like, many people have an aptitude for one specific thing and don't show an aptitude for many other things. Like, I'm fucking dumb about several things, but I'm really good about broadcasting, and I have good instincts about broadcasting. Yeah, many different types of smarts. And usually, why is this emote labeled Justin Phone? Because it has the phone number on it. Also, Gender Fluid, are you in here? Gender Fluid named all our different trolls. What's your mother's aptitude on? Like, what's her aptitude for? Also, is it goddamn? Is it just me, or is it like constantly? I mean, maybe you guys aren't. The 328 is just a number Twitch assigned. I don't know where that came from. It's something I can't even change. It's like a prefix to my... Like, I named it phone, but Twitch was Justin328 or whatever it is. No problem. Happy to... It's some sort of prefix it, but I guess because I'm Justin... I'm the 328th Justin on Twitch or some shit. I'm trying to vamp until hopefully we get somebody supposed to debate me here. And before we actually take to election coverage, it is election night, and you may say, Justin, wasn't it election night on Tuesday? It is. It was election night on Tuesday. This election is happening in Britain. This is a special election in Nigel Farage's district. If you haven't met him yet, this is the man running against Nigel Farage, the far-right lunatic in Britain, who is probably going to lose his seat to this candidate named Count Binface.
Count Binface, he is running against Nigel Farage and more than 24 other candidates to represent the town of Clacton in UK Parliament. Count Binface, it's really good to have you. Just first question up top, what made you become Count Binface over Lord Buckethead? What happened to Lord Buckethead?
Well, good question. Firstly, it's lovely to meet you, Katie, and all your fantastic viewers. My goodness me, you have a lot of adverts in America, don't you?
Oh, my God, yes.
I should just say at the start, this is definitely the holodeck on my Starship, not a budget hotel in Clacton-on-Sea. Let's just make that absolutely clear. Also, here's a little scoop for you. Due to broadcasting rules, I cannot talk on British television until 10 p.m. UK time. It's currently just or nearly 8 o'clock. So through a lovely little loophole, I can talk to America first. How cool is that? But as for the old Buckethead snafu, yes, well, when I first came to Earth in 2017, I thought if I came down like this, I might freak out the humans. So I adopted a disguise of this Lord Buckethead, a title that had lain dormant for 25 years, and that went very well. I ended up on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. But then there was an unfortunate battle on the planet copyright, so I respawned in my true guise. And Katie, I'm the first politician in history to feel better after kicking the bucket. How about that?
I like Planet Copyright. That's a good one. All right, let me put up on the screen your flow chart about winning, because I think this is worth looking at again. So you ask, who won the election? Count Binface? Yes, then you win. If Farage wins with fewer votes than 2024, yes, we win. With fewer votes, no. With less of a majority, yes, we win. And regardless, it'll take you, I can't read a flowchart. Regardless, it'll take you back to the investigation into his conduct. Tell me why you believe that Nigel Farage...
Ask him about his position of nationalizing Adele.
Farage deserves to be under investigation.
Well, I mean, that's not for me to say, Katie. I mean, firstly, that's not my flowchart. Yeah, I found that online. Some human did that, but I agree with it entirely. The fact is that I've won either way. It's checkmate to Binface. And if Nigel strikes me down electorally, I will become more powerful than he can possibly imagine. Because, of course, then, yes, the parliamentary committee will look into, again, his interesting finances. For example, this £5 million gift, an unconditional gift he was given, which he says he could spend on Ferraris if he wants, but he didn't declare it to the correct committee. And I tell you this, firstly, I would not accept such a donation on Earth. And if I did accept it on any planet, I swear to you, I would fill out the proper forms. Very important.
What does it say that his chief rival in this race, there's a number of them, but the chief rival is an intergalactic trash can warrior?
Well, I think there's a slight tone of sneeriness there, which is unfair. I would say to you that my path is on the up, and it's a natural point in my career to become His Majesty's official opposition. So, this is a natural point for me, and we shall see if I can take control of Clacton in due course. But I know where you're going. The point is, why have the Labour Party, the Conservative Party, the big parties, the Liberal Democrats, well, maybe not them, but why are they not bothered? And it's either because they're scared of my magnificence, or maybe both, they think that Nigel is pulling a cunning stunt. And I use those words very carefully on live television. And I think it's a bit of both.
A cunting stunt.
I like that, because this is American TV, and we have a different set of standards out here for what words we use. One other question for you, and I
don't think that's my phone.
Phone call. One other question.
So sorry, I don't know.
What has Nigel?
The count is popular.
Politics done to the UK?
No, I'm just going to pause that for a second. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
There we go.
I hope you're talking to me and not the phone. What has Nigel Farage's politics done to the UK?
Yes, I will tell you this. I do apologies for those awful humans, but I would say Nigel Farage's politics, the beauty of democracy, as you've discovered in America, Katie, is that, of course, different views can have strength at certain times. So, of course, it is humans' right to vote for Nigel Farage, or indeed it's their far right to vote for Nigel Farage. But I am offering a sane alternative.
It's their far right to vote for Nigel
In
Farage.
this day and age, I am the voice of sanity and moderation. And on that note, I wonder whether American viewers would like a little bit of bin face in your politics, eh? Democrats, Republicans, bin face. Who's going to win that battle, I wonder?
Bin face.
I have to tell you, you might win. Our politics, people are sick of everybody. So come on over, take your chances. You might not do so poorly. Count Binface, it has been a pleasure, a distinct pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Formerly Lord Buckethead. Again, the pleasure is all mine, sir.
No, the honor is mine, and God bless America.
He's already auditioning for the role of president with his God bless America. The polling is already underway. Let me see if I can get us an update. The counting, the votes have already taken place. The count is underway. The man in a can with a plan. What an amazing picture. Trying to get you his positions, because beyond nationalizing Adele, he is also for he's going to cut your taxes and raise everyone else's. Build one affordable home and nationalize singer Adele because she's a national treasure. So he's running on a position of cutting your taxes and raising everyone else's. Building one affordable home. One. And nationalizing Adele. That is the platform. Which do you prefer? Binface's platform of raising everyone's taxes except yours, cutting your taxes, nationalizing Adele, and building one affordable home, or the friendly fascist Vermin Supreme, who promised a pony for everybody and forcefully brushing your teeth. Which is the better position? He's a friendly fascist that will make you brush your teeth. I don't know. Dude that said he wanted to debate me was like, name a time. And I'm starting to think he might chicken out now. I mean, he messaged me and was like, how do I hook up in Discord? I'm like, I don't have the link, man. Just come in and say something in the chat. We will hook you up. Ironic. Welcome in. My lord. I did not rig your election. I am not Mike Lindell. I wish you would, Media Winch. Whatever position you want me in, I will assume the position. I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants right now. Because I thought I'd have a debate. Didn't really prepare because I've been busy all day. I would have put this story with our boy Luigi Mangione. our boy from back in the 80s that almost completely changed our timeline. Speaking out, his name is John Hinckley Jr. He shot Reagan.
45 years after he tried to kill President Reagan, John Hinckley Jr. says he's a changed man.
I had a dark heart, and
I'm sorry, T-minus. You're right. I'm slacking. You redeemed Lurker Love. Show a cat. Was there something else I missed? I only see Smokey. He threw up a couple different times last night. I was a little worried about him. Like, he's not like you to throw up multiple times. Hope you're feeling better, baby. I don't know. He's not purring. He looks a little sad, but he's got resting bitch face, so I don't know. Terry, I should be like any second. And also, good evening. I don't think I told you good evening. I am completely out, but should have some any second. Curiouser went to the weed store. I mean, seriously, she should be walking in the door any minute. We'll see if there's anything in this bowl. The light one up and tip one back for me. Well, I actually had scraped the, because we smoke dabs out of the bong all the time, so the res I pull out of the bong is fucking insane. I've been out for a couple days, so there's not anything left in that bowl. Kinda, I mean, I've got multiple things of dabs there. I was able to scrape this, scrape that, blah blah blah. Lurker Love. I owe you a Lurker Love. Who's lurking in here that we don't get to say hey to very often? T-Girl. You are a Lurker Love. Good to see you. You don't, No, I'm changing it. T-Girl, never mind. You're not our Lurker Love. Jack Me Y Hoffer. You are Lurker Love. I love your name. You don't have to say anything. I love lurkers. You guys can watch the show. I want as many people watching the show. For some reason, other Twitch streamers are like, if you're not going to say something, don't be in my stream. That's not me. I want everybody to watch. That's why I put my shit everywhere. That's why you can watch the podcast on Spotify. You can go to YouTube. We're on Rumble. We're on Kick. I just be putting my dick in everybody's pudding. Anyway, our boy John Hinckley Jr. shot Reagan, 82? 83? Almost changed the course of history.
45 years after he tried to kill President Reagan,
81.
Hinckley Jr. says he's a changed man.
I had a dark heart in 1981, and I've overcome that.
In a rare and lengthy interview, the would-be assassin says he admired Reagan, but still chose to target him outside the Washington Hilton Hotel.
I just was able to stand there, and nobody was even paying attention to me.
A shooting that left Reagan and 3 others seriously wounded. All an attempt, Hinckley says, to get the attention of actress Jodie Foster.
I think I understand.
Who starred alongside Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, a film where she played an underage...
So it wasn't even because Reagan was evil. He thought that would make Jodie Foster happy? I thought it was because he read Catcher in the Rye.
I think I understand.
Who starred alongside Robert De Niro in Taxi Driver, a film where she played an underage trafficked prostitute, and where De Niro's character attempts an assassination.
I wanted to have this union with Jodie Foster.
Hinckley, who's now free after being found not guilty by reason of insanity and spending 3 decades in a psychiatric institution, offering this message for Foster, who he doesn't know.
I wish Jodie well and hope she has a good life.
The interview revealing and shocking at times as Hinckley describes a correspondence with serial killer Ted Bundy in the 80s and similarities he found with Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon.
It was a huge thing when John...
Oh, it was the John Lennon shooter. It was Chapman. He was the one that read Catcher in the Rye, was like, kill the hippies.
And similarities he found with Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon.
It was a huge thing when John was killed. It kind of just sent me over the edge to where I never came back.
Now at 71, Hinckley has no restrictions on his freedom and says he spends his days making music and art.
I sell my little cat paintings. I certainly don't make a lot of money, but it's enough just to, pay my bills.
In the decade since, Jodie Foster has rarely talked about the attack on Reagan. At the time, Foster was just 18, enrolled at Yale and performing in a stage play. She says the event is likely a reason she hasn't done theater since. Speaking in 1981, Foster said she received multiple letters from Hinckley, but never saw or met him.
I want to get back to a normal life as quickly as possible. I'm an actress, and that's what I love doing.
Reps for Foster did not comment about this new podcast interview. Hinckley says he believes estrangement from his family at the time led to isolation, depression, and delusions, but says he is now close with his surviving relatives, though he says none of them, including his mother, who he cared for after his release, has ever asked him about the shooting.
That's
wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Hey, thanks for watching.
Shut up, Al Roker. That's twice today. I think this isn't the first time we've played Hinckley music on the show.
Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing great. This is my latest original song. I'm just a lonely dreamer. People say I'm dreaming my life away. I'm just a lonely dreamer. Love is gone, and now my world is gray. I never had the finer things in life. Never had a home or a loving wife. I'm just a lonely dreamer. People say
I mean, I've heard worse.
I'm dreaming my life away. I'm just a lonely dreamer. Love is gone, and now my
Yeah, don't quit your day job, which is,
troubles get me.
I guess, selling cats.
I managed to
Cat paintings.
I ain't the kind of man to break down and cry. I'm just a lonely dreamer. People say I'm dreaming my life away. I'm just a lonely dreamer.
This song is like 2.5 minutes, but it feels like it's been longer.
And now my world is gray. One
Oh, I thought that was the end.
someone and settle down. But until then, don't want no one around. I'm just a lonely dreamer.
It's 2:54. 2 minutes and 54 seconds. Nope, we're coming back in. I feel like everybody's being down on him, but this man almost altered the course of history. Like, everything wrong with this country right now can be attributed back to the Reagan administration and the Reaganomics movement. Almost took the problem out for us. How life could have been different. I mean, Flash said that is always a possibility as well. Well, Reagan might have become an even larger messiah for the neocon right. Hey, hey, hey. You want to smoke a bong? No? Okay. Call him a gay cowboy? Was he gay? His best friend was gay, I know that. He had the throat goat. Are you telling me a gay man was married to the best blowjob giver of all time? Oh, he played one on TV, okay. I was like, because wouldn't the throat goat be wasted on him? And talent ain't natural, it's learned.
You live in sexual anarchy.
Throtus. All right, since we're getting ready to talk about a West Coast death row rapper, perfect time to get high. The trial for the murder of Tupac finally getting underway.
30 years after Tupac Shakur was gunned down in Las Vegas, the only person ever charged in his killing is now on trial.
That's right. Prosecutors say Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was the shot caller who helped orchestrate the retaliatory shooting and provided the gun. Davis has pleaded not guilty. Joining us to break it all down in the case is KTLA 5 legal analyst and criminal defense attorney Allison Treasel. Allison, welcome back to Off the Clock. We haven't seen you in so long. We love and miss you.
I am so happy to be back, and what a way to come back with a trial finally 30 years later.
So wild.
For Tupac's killing. Absolutely incredible.
All right, so jury selections.
I remember my mom being sad about it because she said Tupac had really pretty eyes. Because I'm like, well, it was 97 when it happened? So I'm like 13. And I feel like my dad was in Vegas that week because he tried to go to the Tyson fight.
Still underway. So far, many have claimed not to know Tupac or his music. Is it actually an advantage to find jurors who say, you know, I don't know this Tupac guy, or I've heard of him, but I never listened to his music?
Really? The kids don't know Tupac? Interesting. You know, I can't name a Tupac song that has been in a popular piece of media in the last 10, 15 years. Hasn't really gone viral on TikTok. So yeah, I guess The kids don't know who Tupac is. That's a shame.
Is that an advantage or disadvantage?
I actually think it's an advantage to both sides. Okay, so if someone knows his music, loves his music, that may be an advantage for the defense. And if someone knows his music and didn't like his music,
I love Seinfeld.
That may help the prosecution. So I think being
I love Tupac.
A judge is always telling someone, and both sides are saying, keep an open mind. Only focus on the evidence that you hear in this case. So that helps if they really didn't know much about these people anyway, to keep an open mind, only focus on the evidence.
Yeah, fair enough. I am old.
Well, now to the charge. So Davis faces a single count of murder with a deadly weapon with the intent to promote or assist a criminal gang in Shakur's death. Can you elaborate on what all that means?
Right. So it's not.
And the gang apparently was Puffy. It was Puffy was behind this. Puffy was behind the murder of Tupac.
Just a murder case, right? This has got to be a murder for the benefit of a street gang. And let me give you a little bit of information about who is on trial, because it is alleged that he actually wasn't the shooter. So will we ever find out who actually shot?
Yeah, he was apparently in the back seat.
May not get an answer here. But what is alleged is that Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, who is now in his 60s, was the leader of the South Side Compton Crips. And that there was a beef, okay, between him and essentially his nephew, who allegedly got into a fight with Tupac.
Libertad. You've never heard his music. You've never heard California Love. That would be like the biggest Tupac song. It's like Tupac, Dr. Dre. I feel like somebody else is in it too. It's not Snoop Dogg. But that would be like a California Love. Like how is like not everybody heard that song? Especially if you were alive in like 1996. It was everywhere.
Right after the Mike Tyson fight, this happened in Las Vegas at MGM Grand. There was a fight, and that his nephew Orlando Anderson may have been the one to actually do the shooting, but out of his own mouth, Keefe D. Davis, the man on trial, writes a book, and he says, I handed the gun, and there was a beef, and we start firing out of a white Cadillac that I'm in. There are 4 people in the Cadillac, and Anderson's the only one that's still alive. Suge Knight is driving Tupac in a black BMW, and so Suge Knight survives, Tupac does not.
Is there precedent for using a defense?
Keefe, it's Keefe.
I don't want to call it admission, and the defendant saying the book was fictionalized to sell books. Is there precedent?
Yeah, he said he had a ghostwriter and he didn't write any of that shit.
Against them in court?
100%. 100%. I mean, any writing that you make, so I want to distinguish it between something like a musical lyrics, which has a lot of...
Oh, you're fine, Ducky. Usually if I'm in somebody else's chat, I've got it up in the background. And I'm just listening.
Successfully argued before trial that this should come in essentially as an admission. So in 2019, Dwayne writes a memoir of his life as the leader of the Crips and their rivalry at the time with the Bloods, and it was called Compton Street Legend. And in it essentially says...
So the book wasn't even about the East Coast, West Coast beef. It was about the actual beef between the Bloods and the Crips in Compton. Wow.
I was present. I knew about the fight. I brought the gun, and I tossed the gun for one of the people to actually shoot Tupac. He is now saying that, look, I co-authored that with a ghostwriter. You can't tell which were my words, which was the ghostwriter's. it was sensationalized, it was fictionalized, and I did it to sell books and make money for financial gain, but it's not true. What does that say? What that says is, interestingly, not only is he a defendant in this case, but he is the key witness against himself in this case.
Are there any other examples of high-profile cases where, as you just said, the defendant was also...
Suge Knight says that he knows, but he ain't no rat. That it's the law of the street. He ain't telling the cops shit. I don't know what to think about that. You were driving the car. This is supposedly like one of your best friends, and like the dude making you a shit ton of money at the time. Like Tupac was probably the hottest rapper on the planet. But you won't talk to the cops to bring him justice. Suge is in jail. I don't know that Suge is even going to get out.
So the star witness?
Well, I mean, I think that anytime a defendant makes a statement, gives a confession, and it's lacking in other really strong corroborating evidence, which is something I want to briefly discuss in this case, the defendant's own words become the key pieces of evidence against them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you elaborate. You said there's something you wanted to get into. Get into that.
Well, I mean, I think that because this case is 30 years old, and a 30-year-old case doesn't have the things that juries want to see and hear now, right? So there's something called a CSI effect, where a jury is basically saying, well, there's no DNA here. Well, there's no DNA here. There's no cell phones. Right. There's no GPS, location tagging. So all of the things that you look at in these newer cases as a juror that you expect are going to be missing. And even though they're going to have witnesses from the event that happened 30 years ago, their memories fade. Like I said, a lot of these people have passed away. And so the prosecution does have to rely heavily on this man's own words. And will that be enough? I don't know. Right. They're going to have detectives talk about street gangs and the feud that existed between the Crips and the Bloods. They may even talk about what he said in the book, which was Sean Combs offered him $1 million to get
it was Puffy
of Suge Knight and Tupac. Is
ultimately the person that killed Tupac was Puffy. No matter who actually pulled the trigger, Puffy was behind it. That seems to be that it was the East Coast, West Coast thing. They had a whole beef at the Source Awards that year, and like I went back and watched it. It is insane. Like Dre wins an award and goes up and he's like talking about peace and everything. And like Snoop Dogg wins an award and goes up and like they're booing the shit out of him. And he's like, I know where I'm at. I know I'm on the East Coast. I know y'all don't like me. If you got beef, come get some. And so like they go to a party afterwards. There's apparently a fight between Puff Daddy and I don't know if it was Suge or one of Suge's people. Oregon Gal hasn't. Okay, guys. Stick around. We're going to wrap this thing up in about 20 minutes. If you haven't heard any Tupac, we're going to listen to a couple of Tupac songs. We'll watch some Tupac videos. So if you haven't heard Tupac, and I would love to know people that have never heard Tupac before, like what you think about him, because like he is a really, really good rapper. He, like my mom said, he had pretty eyes. He was a pretty man. This is going to be I would love to hear your guys' reaction to Tupac. People that have never heard it before. Libertad, you've got a Twitch. You can come over and join us, right? Would love to hear what you guys think about him.
That true? He's saying that it's not. He said it before. So those kinds of things are going to come in. But in terms of direct, solid evidence, they've got this statement, not that much more.
Yep.
ABC News.
They've only got the statement from the book that he tossed the gun to the person that shot him. I told you Suge Knight has said that he knows who shot him but won't narc the person out. Suge spoke to TMZ yesterday or the day before.
And Death Row
Suge being like, I think he was CEO of Death Row, or what, like he president, whatever his title was. He was the main guy in charge.
Ckers founder Suge Knight had a lot to say about the Tupac Shakur murder trial during a jailhouse interview with TMZ. Knight was in the car with Tupac the night he was shot on the Strip in September of 1996. Now from behind bars, he is weighing in on the case and how prosecutors are framing the killing.
I can't even remember what Suge's in jail for. Killing somebody, I think. I don't think Suge gets out.
Here's how Knight describes it.
You know, one of the things you got to realize, this was assassination. It wasn't over no chain. It wasn't over no colors. This was assassination. And they can do one who assassinated Kennedy and everybody can talk about it. But when it comes to Tupac, nobody really wants the truth.
Yeah, Knight pleaded no contest to voluntary manslaughter in a fatal 2015 hit and run. He got sentenced to 28 years under the 3 strikes law. He will get out in October of 2034, or he's eligible for parole in October of 2034, and he will be 69.
Knight says he won't name names, but claims many others were involved in Tupac's killing. He is on the witness list to testify. The list also names members of Tupac's family, former Las Vegas Mayor Oscar Goodman, and Governor Joe Lombardo. And
I had thought that he had been sentenced to life, but no, he gets out in 2034. But like, he was apparently a real gangsta, like holding people out of windows and shit. I'd like to watch a documentary on Suge. I guess as long as we're talking about rappers, and there's no reason for me to do this. This really is just exploitative because of who her ex is. I shouldn't. No reason to worry about Kim Mathers. She appeared in court today, the ex-wife of Eminem. Yeah, she just violated her bond. Poor woman. She doesn't deserve attention on her. I just thought it fit nicely because, you know, Eminem's part of the Death Row crew. Speaking of Death Row, Tennessee put a Death Row inmate to death. That feels redundant. Put him down earlier today in Nashville.
Today, by the order of the Supreme Court, the Tennessee Department of Correction carried out the death sentence of Anthony Hines by means of lethal injection at the Riverbend Maximum Security Institution. Inmate Hines was pronounced dead at 10:43 a.m., and his last words were, "Tell my son hello."
For those of you that...
He said, "Tell my son hello." I read this story earlier, and the AP, I think is where I was reading it, quoted him as saying, "Tell my son I love him," which seems more appropriate. But then again, I'm also like, well, is this guy a sociopath? Because he apparently did commit a very brutal murder. It seems, you know, this is not one of those where I'm bringing it up to you like this was an innocent man or there's doubt or something. No, this dude committed a brutal murder. I'm still against the death penalty. But it did kind of like, are you capable of love? Are you a sociopath? Have sociopathic or psychopathic tendencies? I'm pretty sure that was a jail official quoted him as saying, "Tell my son hello." That was Frank Strata from the Tennessee Department of Corrections.
The Riverbend Maximum Security Institution. Inmate Hines was pronounced dead at 10:43 a.m., and his last words were, "Tell my son hello."
For those of you that may be concerned as to whether or not this animal suffered. Let me tell you what he did to my mother 41 years ago. He attacked her. The only means of defense she had was a plastic spray bottle. Yes, I hope he did suffer. I hope he felt severe pain, because what he did to my mother is nothing what he may have just gone through.
The most significant, I guess, event that happened was at 10:34. We heard a groaning and kind of a choking and coughing, gurgling sound, and then breathing got very heavy, and then all of a sudden stopped.
The leaders of the state repeatedly invoked the sanctity of life, but today the state put to death a man who...
Yeah, he apparently sodomized her with a knife and everything, so a pretty sick motherfucker.
was blind on one side, paralyzed on his left side, could not walk, was in constant chronic pain. They lifted his body onto a gurney and wheeled him to the death chamber. May God have mercy on us all.
I can't find... the story I was reading earlier, where they quoted him as saying... I'm fascinated by that. Did he say, tell my son hello? Or did he say, tell my son I love him? Going back through my history. But it's possible that I wasn't reading it on a web page. It's possible I was reading it on some other aggregate. Yeah, it could have been on Twitter or something. But yeah, the quote I read earlier said, tell my son I love him. Hello would make more sense for a sociopath. We're going to go to Texas, where prosecutors are apparently refusing to bring charges against the Texas Police Department accused of misconduct.
Say they will no longer accept criminal cases filed by the Trinidad Police Department. Since May, Fox 4 has been reporting on issues within the city of Trinidad, about 70 miles southeast of Dallas. It all started when concerns about water safety led to questionable arrests, and now local prosecutors are refusing to work with the police department and will also review...
Whoa, yeah, I misread that headline. I misinterpreted that. So prosecutors are refusing to work with this police department because they say they're a bunch of liars.
Prosecutors say they will no longer accept criminal cases filed by the Trinidad Police Department. Since May, Fox 4 has been reporting on issues within the city of Trinidad, about 70 miles southeast of Dallas. It all started when concerns about water safety led to questionable arrests, and now local prosecutors are refusing to work with the police department and will also review past pending cases. Fox 4's David Centendry has been breaking developments on the story from the very beginning and joins us with his update. David.
Hey, Steve. Yeah, the water has been the primary concern from the beginning, but it led to a spotlight on the police department, and now that department is being stripped of some power.
Who would have thought, though? I spent my whole life staying out of trouble, and then I'm going to jail for a Facebook comment.
Police dash camera footage shows the controversial arrest of Jennifer Combs in May, a felony false alarm charge for a Facebook post highlighting a report that the city's drinking water hospitalized someone.
Oh, yeah, we covered this. This was a while back, wasn't it? No, it says 2026. Time is dilated.
Camera footage shows the controversial arrest of Jennifer Combs in May, a felony false alarm charge for a Facebook post highlighting a report that the city's drinking water hospitalized someone. Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has since confirmed issues with the city's water system. This arrest...
Oh, yeah, because it's fucked because it didn't actually hospitalize somebody, but there were problems with the water. The water is fucked there. But she is passing herself off as a journalist and falsely reported that people have been sent to the hospital. Now, I don't agree with arresting her, but that is kind of an issue, putting out false information like that.
Who would have thought, though? I spent my whole life staying out of trouble, and then I'm going to jail for a Facebook comment.
Police dash camera footage shows the controversial arrest of Jennifer Combs in May, a felony false alarm charge for a Facebook post highlighting a report that the city's drinking water hospitalized someone. Texas Commission on Environmental Quality has since confirmed issues with the city's water system. This arrest sparked a series of controversies related to Trinidad Police Department, a department now stripped of most of its power.
Astonished, surprised.
On Monday, Trinidad PD received a letter from the Henderson County District Attorney's Office and County Attorney's Office reading, it will no longer accept cases for prosecution solely investigated or filed by the Trinidad Police Department until further notice.
I know exactly what it means.
What does it mean to you?
It means you can't file cases. It means you can't answer calls for service. That's what it means.
Interim Chief Cameron Beckham says this limits the department to mostly traffic enforcement.
Any Class C misdemeanors, they go to our municipal court.
But anything above that?
Anything above that, a sheriff would have to come out and deal with it. And unfortunately, that's just where we're at right now.
The Texas Rangers are investigating city officials.
Have you tried not being a piece of shit?
Full arrests, retaliatory firings of city staff, and more related to the ongoing water controversy. We've now also learned the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement is investigating the police department.
This is what we call a full-blown audit.
That audit is mentioned in the DA and county attorney's letter, but details of the audit are unclear.
What's your reaction after reading that letter?
I'm puzzled.
Newly appointed city councilman Stephen Stearman calls the letter too generic. He wants more details to find out if policing issues can be corrected or not.
If we're doing something wrong and the city needs to shut down our department, by all means, we're going to shut it down.
We're working with whoever we need to work with to resolve this situation.
Beckham joined the department as an officer last November, but became interim chief in June after Chief Charles Gregory resigned. Regarding the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement's audit, Beckham blames his predecessors.
And TCO has the information to back it up. So, we're talking bad policing for 15 years.
Beckham, however, was a part of controversial search and arrest warrants related to Jennifer Combs. In a letter, Judge R. Scott McKee questioned the accuracy, completeness, and reliability of information presented by Beckham and another officer in Combs' search warrant. Beckham also arrested Winston Knowles for a nonviolent protest of Combs' arrest. Both cases led to national scrutiny before their
Does this man have a gigantic dick? Is his schlong hanging out? What are we blurring in this picture? Or in this video? I'm unsure what's going on.
Commercial search and arrest warrants related to Jennifer Combs. In a letter, Judge R. Scott McKee questioned the accuracy, completeness, and reliability of information presented by Beckham and another officer in Combs' search warrant. Beckham also arrested Winston Knowles for a nonviolent protest of Combs' arrest. Both cases...
Oh, he has some kind of sign.
...before their dismissals.
Is there anything you do differently regarding those cases?
This is the first time anyone from the department has spoken with Fox 4 on camera.
Yes.
What would you do?
Beckham says instead of charging Combs and Knowles, if it were up to him, those cases would have been kicked to the same DA's office, now refusing to take on Trinidad PD cases.
I filed it with the DA's office and let them ascertain whether or not to file charges.
If it were up to you,
Yeah, that's what you should have done.
district attorney, to decide whether or not a charge should happen or possibly send it to a grand jury.
Yes.
Maybe elaborate, if you can, on that?
No.
Now, T. Cole has the power to effectively shut down a police department. We're still working to get details of that audit that it's performing. We're also waiting to get an update from the Texas Rangers. Now, Trinidad PD has less than a dozen officers, so it's a small department, but this is still a big, important story for that department and members of its community.
Brooks, welcome in. Socialist Aunt, Big Ben. Good to see you, friends. What a wild story. Let's go to nearby Austin, where a man apparently stole an ambulance from Fort Worth. Did he drive it all the way to Austin? Let's find out. Apparently killed in Austin. In today's edition of What the Fuck is Up with Fort Worth.
A suspect is dead after Texas DPS says the person intentionally drove a stolen Fort Worth ambulance into multiple vehicles in Austin. DPS troopers say that they learned about the ambulance that it had been stolen out of Fort Worth around 6:30 this morning. They found the ambulance in Travis County and tried to stop the driver, but officials said that that person refused and then began intentionally ramming other vehicles with the ambulance. A DPS trooper shot the suspect who died there at the scene. That suspect so far...
Well, see, now thanks to ICE, I don't believe the cops at all. Let's see some body cameras, see if he's trying to ram you.
Other vehicles with the ambulance.
It's not thanks to ICE. I'd never believe the cops. I'm sorry.
A DPS trooper shot the suspect who died there at the scene. That suspect so far has not been identified. We'll bring you more info as we get that.
I'm sorry, I'm muted. Let's find out the incident that caused the Magic Mountain ride to have to close down at Six Flags in California.
We've learned that X2, one of the most intense coasters at Six Flags Magic Mountain, has been closed for more than a month after a medical incident involving a rider. On July 5th, fire crews responded to the Valencia theme park after receiving a report of an unconscious person. The rider's condition has not been released. Cal OSHA also responded and says its inspection of the ride is still ongoing. Park officials have not commented on what happened, telling KTLA only that X2 remains closed at this time. Meanwhile, a lawsuit is scheduled to go to trial next month over the death of a 22-year-old man whose family alleges he suffered a fatal brain injury while riding X2 back in 2022. The park has...
Yeah, I thought about that after I said it. There's probably multiple Six Flags in California, isn't it? This one's in Valencia.
Has denied liability and has declined to comment publicly, citing the ongoing litigation.
I'm assuming Six Flags won't be a thing in a few more years. It doesn't seem to be having a good run lately. As I understand it, roller coasters are kind of not popular anymore. Another one of those generational things like Tupac, I guess. Well, that's the LA one. It's just outside LA. I think we're going to Littleton, Colorado. A dog somehow is trapped in a locked van. We've got the rescue for you.
Hold on, puppy.
Oh God, I was hoping it wasn't an owner left it in there.
Hey, puppy. Hey, buddy. It's okay, baby. That's 83 right now.
Yeah, fuck anybody that does that. Poor baby.
Air conditioning. Okay, thank you.
I hope they arrested somebody. It doesn't say. They definitely need to be punished. I can't believe anyone. How can you have an animal and do that to them? I mean, it is possible that medical emergency or something, but they shouldn't have ever left the puppy in there at all. Oh, I'm only going to be in here a minute. No. You never know what could happen. How can you leave your friend like that? Your family member? They were gone long enough for the cops to show up and break their window. There's no excuse. I would usually try to be charitable, Flash, and think of things like that, but that's poor puppy. 'Cause cops. They took fucking at least 20 minutes to get there. Short of, they were running to piss inside of a bathroom somewhere and had a heart attack. No, and even if you were doing that, fucking leave the air conditioner on. Leave the van running. I know. Anyway. Really good point, Flash, but why would you leave it's too long. It's too long. They might have gotten picked up or something. Poor baby. Here's some cuteness. This polar bear apparently loves this traffic cone. Oh God, it was trying to sodomize Mama Bear with it. That's so cute. Okay, Twitch people, stick around. We're going to listen to some Tupac. Apparently turn some people on. If you've never heard Tupac before, stick around. I would like to hear your opinion. YouTube people, Facebook people, podcast people, light one up, tip one back. It's alright to have a little fun before you hit the sack. We'll see you Sunday night on the Troll Patrol, live.